camera, they'd be like, dude, that
And
Paul guy,
you're
he's
not
really tough with
Harvard
the charter room.
graduate.
Move him to the front of the room,
Walk
and he
across
just
that
goes
field,
right to his
all
head.
hell. So I, of course, being
was thinking the
stupid,
same, I was
not
like,
knowing
wow, look at
anything.
Paul up
thinking
there, all
they're
fancy.
thinking they're-
Well, I was
Stuff
asked
over
to
here.
be able to plug in here. That's the only reason.
I walked in.
Is that cable
and
HDMI?
This guy
Yes.
run out. Hey, are
don't
you a
have
grad? You a
HDMI
grad?
in
No,
my
I said,
computer.
"No, hopefully an undergrad.
an
You know,
adapter.
and he said, oh,
connect the
I put
wireless?
this down. And the first question they asked me, and the guy didn't.
Yeah, it's not.
Did you?
Wait, do you have to
didn't
click
you
the
know?
square that's
So when I got
live?
my acceptance,
Well, we're
I'm
not
gonna
three, though.
fucking accept you.
Oh,
You're
I
rejected.
I don't know who
You
that
didn't
is,
say
actually.
please.
Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dave Johnson. I'm the chair of the Paxton Charter Review Committee. I'm here with my colleagues. All of us are here, of those active members. I'd like to welcome you and formally announce that we have a quorum. That being said, we have a few things to proceed. The date is the 27th of October. We're 2 minutes late due to technical issues. It is now 5:47 according to the clock that you'll see on the screen. We have two young, distinguished residents of the town seated behind us. Hopefully, Scott, our cameraman, can show them, and we'd like to encourage other people, hopefully registered voters, that would come here and do the same thing they're doing. But it's nice to have anybody here from the public, and I thank you very much, ladies. Juniper, Robin, hi. Okay.
They're residents, but not, and citizens, but not voters.
Registered voters.
We'll be talking about definitions. So.
I like to be careful about the word citizens because apparently that gets muddied. I was told one of my citizen definitions doesn't fit, but it works for me. First thing I'll say is, before we get into anything about reviewing, revising, and accepting the meeting minutes, I would like to take a few minutes with some remarks. And the very first thing that I have, this is on the soccer asylum event. I'd like to first of all say congratulations to Chuck and to Megan, and I understand Gary had a hand in some of the things. This was an event that brought people from various committees. We had some representatives there from the select board. We had the interim town administrator, planning board members, the EDC was there, and there were a number of citizens, believe it or not. I actually caught a few up in the Seven Saws bar room upstairs and spent some time talking to them. And then Megan introduced me to two residents, and I can tell you quite frankly, I was very impressed that we had not only citizens, we had town officials, we had you people doing work, and a very interesting event. Some of the things that I was asked or questioned about, I can assure you that stay tuned because their comments will likely find their way in some of the draft charter articles that is now under construction. So with all that being said, we've learned a little bit, and I hope that some of these things will carry over because we intend to have versions of what the soccer asylum event was. And that being said, that it was all in all a great experience, and I want to thank the three of you from our committee that did work on that. And with that being said,
Megan definitely took the lead and did a great job of the other
Thanks,
departments, like Tony
Yeah, it was
from Economic Development, Tony Dominic, and
Jay
from Economic Development, and Roberta from the zoning all played an active role.
excellent. It was obviously a team effort, and that's the kind of things that Paxton needs is a team effort. Just like this committee has gone out and elicited input and suggestions and criticisms from not only townspeople, but mostly from the town's officers and boards, commissions, committees, and that's what this is going to do. We're going to get a charter because of a team effort, and we really appreciate what we've had so far, and we really want to, extremely hit on the point that we do want and encourage more participation from people out there, and that includes, again, it's getting to be something I say every meeting, but we do have some open positions, so if anybody is interested, give us a call, let us know, and we'll be glad to enjoy your presence on the committee because we do have that room. All of that being said, the next thing we have to do is talk a little bit about the meeting minutes from our previous meeting a couple weeks ago on the 6th of October. The first thing we'll do is review them. One thing that I would note immediately is that I do believe there was some information out there. I had just put throw it out there, a suggested introduction. There was some remarks about that, and I believe Megan and I believe Chuck wanted to, throw some suggestions in the form of written documents. I apologize, I haven't had a chance to read them. I know that they got set out recently. I do not have a phone that accesses our shared drive, and I was talking, so I haven't had a chance to read them, but I think it's important to get talking about that. I'd like to hopefully get the introduction before us for a vote, and then move on to the preamble, and then hopefully move into some of the actual articles that are before us. Any objections to that? Okay, can we go right into that, or does anybody have any comments or questions or anything else they want to say about anything else before we get into that charter?
Did we review or approve the minutes?
No, that's what we're going to do right now. But I think we have to review one part of that just to make sure that what I've just said is consistent with what the minutes are saying and what we did, because otherwise we have to put something in the minutes about what we did, and I don't see that there's anything in there about those items being tabled. So we did discuss the introduction, and there is an item in number 5, feedback. We were talking to revise the introduction. We didn't mention it, but so that's what we need to do. Is that what we're going to do now? We're going to talk right about those things, but the fact that they're mentioned, this item number 5 covers sufficiently what I just said, which is what we're going to do. In other words, look at
Yes.
Article 5 on the minutes and tell me if that's sufficient, or is anything else needs.
Well, that's really loud. I thought it was sufficient that we were going to review the introduction.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, with that being said, I will make a motion to accept the minutes. Anybody has to discuss that, or any discussion? Is there any objection?
I second that motion.
Okay, that being said, can I have a voice vote? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? The minutes are so adopted.
And you made the motion to?
I did. And it was seconded by Chuck.
Great.
And before we get into the actual discussion of the charter elements, which I'm going to include the introduction preamble in as being the collective noun of the whole thing. But on October 13th, I did send out a email message to all of you guys for you to consider. And I'd just like to put that on the record, if you will. A copy of this will be attached to the minutes, but I just want to bring to your attention the things that are in there, because although we'll probably maybe get into some of these as things to be considered when we talk about, when we get into the powers of the town, the existence of authority and definitions, but they will really come to be very, very important as we get into the nuts and bolts, the meatballs, if you will, of our charter discussions. So let me just go over them, and the reason I'm doing this is because I think it's important not only for it to be something for us to have in mind as we go through the charter, but it's also something for those that are listening to us, those that will be watching us on the TV, and something I'm going to bring out to everybody else, because I will be asking some of these questions ultimately when we get a final draft charter that we start, presenting to the people that we've already spoken to and saying, hey, does this do what you think we should do, or have we done what these questions are asking? So the first question has to be something that will be considered. Are there any elected positions or multi-member bodies that can be eliminated? There are an awful lot of positions out there, especially in the multi-member bodies, which may or may not have any real purpose. There are titles that are given and people that are appointed, but maybe they're not being done. So that's one question. People should look at the town website, see about the boards and departments, and ultimately when they see our charter, it will have a listing of boards and elected and that sort of thing. Do we need somebody who's a caretaker of the clock? Do we need a tree warden? Do we need, a Paxton Housing Authority, which is something that we're supposed to have according to one of the special act legislations that was passed? Should any of the appointed positions or multi-member bodies be eliminated? That's kind of a corollary of Section 1. Should any elected positions or multi-member bodies be shifted from the elected title, elected position, or elected multi-member bodies, become, instead of being elected, should they become appointed positions of bodies? As you know, elections cost money. And they are articles, and if nothing else, they take out, in the election article, the more people that have to be elected, the more red tape it might be involved. Maybe all of those positions at one point in time needed to be elected, but do they still need to be elected? That would take care of 1, 2, 3, and 4. Are there any current responsibilities or resources that we will discuss as we go through our proposed articles that might be better shifted to another entity? That's another question that might want to be looked at. Are there any changes in number 6 that should be added or subtracted to any appointed or elected body? One of the things that came up in the soccer asylum event was something to the effect that, hey, do we actually need to have this? Or do we actually have to have a particular board when the DPW does all of the work? Or should there be that work taken away from the DPW? And should it be brought in the responsibility of that board? Yes?
Is that also what some comments brought up on Saturday was if you don't come to meetings and
Yes.
your attendance as a board member or a committee member, what would be the threshold for saying you are now no longer on the board?
Exactly. That was exactly brought up, and that's a little sensitive one because we're talking to people that are going to be saying, you mean you're trying to eliminate us, or you're trying. But I feel that it's an important and a strong one. It's nice to get it out there, and I appreciate very much that you brought it to my attention because, frankly, I should have put it in here, but I didn't. But one of the things we're going to be consider is, there's people that are appointed to boards, and they don't show, or they show once. Or in one case that I'm aware of, somebody attend. They have, in some of the committees have their own bylaws, and I think that's a good thing for everybody to have. Every committee should have bylaws. But one of the committees has a bylaw that talks about, you have, if you miss, so many meetings, you'll be, on the 5th. Well, they mix the 1, 2, 3, 4, and they show up on the 5th, so the number starts again. That's got to be redone. I mean,
there was a lot of feedback on that, right, when we were...
there was a lot of feedback.
Yeah, so that's all.
And so, I guess the bottom line is anybody listening, start thinking about it because I think we already have and are going to be doing something along those lines of recommending that the town meetings enact something like that, because if we don't want just people signing up for committees or being on the committees and then never participating in the work of the committee. So, how should the town administrator role be documented? Is it something that belongs in the charter, or is it something that is better done in the town by a town bylaw? As it stands right now, the charters, the special, the so-called special act charter, the special act legislation, intergovernmental act, which are all three things that have been discussed. Those are things that talk about the town administrator. Is it appropriate? And I will be doing, a proposed article on the town administrator, but is that something that some of those things that are going to be in there, is that something that you think would be better off in the town bylaw than in the town charter? Are there any town processes that need to be better defined or changed? And I will just say that there's a little bit of confusion that we noticed between the strong chief, which particularly applies to the chief of police and the chief of the fire department, wherein there's a subservient or a lower level document called that says what their strengths are, that they're strong chiefs. But there was some confusion as to whether or not who hires the police officers or who hires the. And that's something that we will possibly need to clarify. Anybody else out there that has any thoughts, because we're not going through them right now, but the town processes that might be better defined or changed. I just throw that out there because it's one that came out there. Are there any overlapping areas of responsibilities which need to be clarified or done something to, rewritten, revised, clarified, in order to eliminate conflicts between town entities? And I can tell you that there are some very interesting ones out there. We'll get to them specifically when we get to those particular articles. And then lastly, is there anything that has not been covered that should be covered or should be drafted for inclusion in the charter or as a town bylaw? Now, we're not a town bylaw committee, but I do think we have a good role in terms of suggesting in our charter that something should be added to the bylaws. And I'm sure you guys will think and have other things to say about that. I'll take anybody who wants to make comments or remarks about that, and then we'll move on. Yes, Megan.
In addition to that, I think that we heard, should we define in the charter, and I don't know if this belongs in there, but a public record process for what the violation of public records?
Yes.
Or if where that fits, like how committees and employees should look at sharing public record.
Exactly. And to that end, I followed up on that a little bit with those people. Public records law, it's like an adjunct to the open meetings law. And people are very concerned, about the open meeting law, but what they don't realize is that every single one of the committees, whether they be elected or they be appointed, are required to provide public notice in advance. And I don't know if that's happening or not. And maybe it's all on the town bulletin board, but I haven't seen all of them. And then they're not only supposed to have those notices published as public records, and those things should possibly be not just on the town bulletin board, but on the town, not just on the town website, but also on the town bulletin board and maybe posted in some of the other places, like perhaps Carlos's Market or the library or whatever. And then when they get through their meetings, they should be doing minutes. And again, those minutes should be approved and then accepted and sent to the town clerk. And they should also be public records that are posted so people can go and say, gee, I wonder what happened at that meeting, or what they talked about, or what they decided, what they deliberated. I had the experience recently of going to look at, we have a collegial relationship, if you will, with another town that I'll show you, remain nameless at this point, but they don't have a charter, and they're in the process just like we are, and they started around the same time to work on a charter, and all their minutes are not published. So there is a open meeting law violation there and a public records violation law there. And we don't want to have that. So we want to have all of our committees and boards and commissions that are creating an agenda, publishing it appropriately, creating the minutes, publishing them appropriately, and understanding that any action that's taken is a public record. And we're going to do that here because one of the things that we're going to put on with our minutes is this little questions to consider, so that people can, not just have to take notes from our meeting here, but they can also go look at our minutes and see what were some of the things they were wanted us to contribute. That being said,
You had an additional 3 and 4 at the bottom as well. There was one about any new town entities that should be created.
yeah.
So should that be added as a 11?
It should be if you want it to be. Getting town entities added is maybe a little bit beyond our current mandate, but it is certainly something that if you people want to take that on, and we can certainly add it as one of the things that we should consider. Are there any new town entities? There are certainly some entities that are out there that have positions in there, but they're not formalized. We have there's a lot of things that people don't even know we have. And so that's one to consider. And if you guys think it should be on there, then please, let's add it, and we'll get it added to our document that will be attached as part of our minutes. The second one, Chuck?
Well, I don't know, it seems incomplete. So should any, excuse me, should any current responsibilities or resources, and then it blanks. So I don't know if this was just
Yeah,
some notes about.
it's actually with some notes that I wanted to stir myself, but you saw them, and I think that is...
So should this be a light? So I uploaded that, or I pasted that as well into the Google Drive for these things for today. So I don't know, is that alive? Do we want to continue to update that, to add?
I'd like to
additional questions?
complete that, but as far as this being a document, we need to have this document created so that when the minutes, if there's, that we've already approved, this will be attached to the minutes and for this meeting and available out there. So that should be something that our very competent and capable secretary can accomplish by when he sends he'll send me the minutes with that document, with any amendments, and then I'll send it on to the town clerk. I'm not sure if it's just history or whatever. I know that at least one committee in town has their secretary to send them direct, but I guess it's supposed to be the chair. So I'll do it like that, but I haven't found any research that says anything about that. But it's probably not a bad idea to have somebody look at it. But in any event, there we go. Anything else to add on this discussion of questions to consider? Hearing none, I suggest that we move on. The introduction, draft 2 and 2A and 2B and whatever. I proposed one just for what it's worth. I also proposed one that as a draft 2 of it, and we talked about draft 2. We talked about draft 1 of the introduction. You guys made some points, and I'll turn it over to ultimately Chuck and Megan about that, because you both indicated that you wanted to make some changes. Who wants to go first?
Yeah. I didn't do a revision because I saw yours and I was like, ooh, I like that. So I did look at what Chuck did, and I think for this purpose, that introduction, it was softer and a little more it was easier to comprehend. So it eliminated, I think, the language that probably is within the charter and more served as a true introduction to the people that would be reading it.
And keeping in mind, we all agreed last meeting that the purpose of the introduction was, again, not to be part of the charter.
Correct.
But it's like a cover letter. We'll
That's right.
use it on meetings, and we would have it up on the
That's
screen,
right.
but we haven't yet figured out how to do that yet.
Yep.
And I apologize for that.
That's
I thought it would
okay.
take-
When I read it, I instantly went, okay, now I know what they're asking me.
Okay. Chuck, so I guess it's basically your and Megan's document. Have you got any
Right.
comments to make?
100% his.
Well, it wasn't, because so we looked at the draft at the last meeting, and then you redrafted something, right, and sent that out.
Yeah.
So I started with that, and it's essentially, I didn't change too much. I took out the first paragraph where it's kind of the legalese from the general laws. I just took that out. I added a very simple statement at the top and just kind of then bulleted your stuff. So it's essentially, you softened your language a little bit, and so that's basically what it is. And then my question would be if we wanted to eliminate even more, because there's the second to last paragraph. So if you're looking at the one that you sent out for this meeting, it's the third from the bottom, third paragraph from the bottom. Without a carefully crafted charter, Massachusetts cities and towns, and it gets into kind of the negative, like what we're trying to avoid. But I think that might be unnecessary because we've already stated, like, hey, we want to design something that fits our needs. So, you know what I mean? So that paragraph to me is somewhat optional.
Okay. Okay. Megan, any response? Gary, any response? Paul,
I'm
any
always a
response?
fan of positive shift in that paragraph, so I kind of like where you were going with that.
Let me ask you this. Okay, so if we work off of draft 2 that I sent out,
Yes.
which is essentially what?
They're very similar.
Okay, so is there anybody here that does not believe that the quotation that I put on there, which is from Chapter 4, Section 7, it may have a place someplace, but not in the introduction?
Yeah.
Any reason that anybody would object to eliminating that from the introduction? All those in favor or opposed, please?
I'm in favor of that being removed.
Okay,
Yeah.
we have one.
Agree, it should be removed.
Remove.
Okay, it is unanimous. We will eliminate from the draft introduction that we will then publish with our minutes if we finish it today. We will eliminate that.
So prior to the meeting, I had a chance to review Chuck's changes, and I'm on board with the changes that he's done. It's taking what you have and just doing a quick reformatting. So,
Okay, so the
just
question that
vote?
was brought up about the third paragraph at the bottom, without a carefully crafted charter, Massachusetts citizen towns, that's really, warning to the other towns.
Right.
Anybody want to get rid of that? Or all those in favor of getting rid of it, let me know.
I would get rid of it, but I don't feel strongly about that.
Megan? Keep it or get rid of it?
I think we could edit it a little bit, so it said, by having a carefully crafted charter, the residents of Paxton get to, I don't know what the rest of it is, but you know where I'm going with that.
Well, we can't say that,
the
though.
paragraph
Oh, it-
above it.
Yep. With a
Oh,
local
yeah,
charter.
I say scrap it.
Yeah.
You-
Sorry.
you-
It's
You'd like to
redundant.
scratch it?
Yeah,
Did you,
scrap.
let me,
Yep.
Dave, let me give you my, I can look it up on a computer. So this is, do you have access to this?
Yep, I do.
Yeah. And if we review that and you're good with it, I almost motion to vote for the second version. Is that easier to do than going through the introduction?
Okay, so we're doing that, we're taking this.
Okay.
So with respect to the third paragraph, without a carefully crafted charter, I've got one, not so strong, but
I'm good with removing.
you, and Gary?
Move it.
And,
I agree.
okay, we'll make that unanimous, and we'll get rid of that. Then, as what you've just handed me, Chuck, you have, in the paragraph says, the proposed Paxton Town Charter that sits before you was carefully crafted and determined by what the residents and officials of our town told us they wanted and what they did not want from their municipal government. And is that something that you want to modify from what's there? Or is there a change?
I'm good with it.
That's fine, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
'Cause it's
so
true.
the proposed Paxton Town Charter, carefully crafted based upon what the residents and officials of our town told us they wanted and what they did not want from their municipal government, that stays?
Yeah.
And then the next document, we'll talk about that in a minute, that's, all right. With that being said, may I have a motion, if you feel like having a motion, to accept the introduction, which will be the revisions will be made, and it will be attached to our minutes of this meeting, to accept or reject the introduction, draft 2, what is a charter, as amended. Are there any people who want to make a motion to accept or reject?
I'm confused only to the extent that the redraft that Chuck had done has a little bit different wording and a little bit of structure, and I'm on board for just adopting that
Yeah.
and moving forward with that. It's similar enough to what was previously done, but it just has a different formatting to it.
Okay,
So then the motion probably is, I'd like to motion that we accept the version done by Chuck with the edit of removing the fourth paragraph without a carefully crafted charter. We strike that.
okay.
But accept the rest of it as our version of the introduction.
This document,
Correct.
which is simply this document, but formatted in a
Correct.
much more legible.
Yes, that's my motion.
Okay. So we have a motion to accept this version, as discussed. Megan? You vote yes?
Yes.
Chuck?
Yes.
Gary?
Yes.
Yes.
Unanimous. We have our first draft, official draft. I want to congratulate you on that. It'll be more fun as we go along. So what we need to do, just to reflect, is this document needs to be attached to the minutes.
So that will be, it's in a separate standalone document. The revised intro will be included in the minutes.
Yes.
Yes.
In the minutes of this meeting.
Yes.
It is 1817. I note that the interim town manager is here, and I want to point out that we did give you some appreciative remarks about your attendance at the Soccer Asylum event.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Apologize for my tardiness today. I had to go to a parent-teacher conference.
Priorities are priorities.
5:52 to 6:03.
And here I was personally thinking that you had enough of us,
Not at all.
but you were missed.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I'm making it, out of order, but basically saying that you're
Thanks.
here now, and thank heavens.
Thank you.
I did watch the select board meeting where you did some, gave us a little bit
Oh,
of
absolutely.
a build, and that's, I hope we deserve that pat on the back.
Yes, you do. So I definitely appreciate the time and energy that you're putting into this. You're not taking it lightly. I meant what I said during the select board meeting. So I just want to give people reassurance that you guys are taking it very seriously and are truly trying to capture everyone's voice in the charter. So I think it's great.
Thank you very much. And it's always nice to have, not necessarily a pat on the back, but, at least recognition that, we're at least on the right track.
Yeah.
Going the right way, doing it
Yep.
the right way. Okay, the next item is to consider the preamble, which was presented earlier. I don't have any comments. I did take notes from what we talked about at the last meeting, and I will ask us to start with Paul. Paul, do you have anything that you would like to say about the draft preamble, which was discussed, and one of the changes that was proposed, where in the first paragraph, we respectfully require the leaders, we respectfully ask, was suggested as being more appropriate. Any objection to that, Paul? Or any comments to that?
I don't have any comments. I haven't revised it close enough to, I'm double checking my notes from last meeting to make sure everything was captured, but I don't, so no comments at this time.
Okay. And then the last paragraph of the preamble had, through this document, we talked about that, and there was some movement to suggest that we should eliminate through this comment and replace it with by this document. Is everybody on board with that? Or does anybody think it should be changed differently or remain the same? Megan?
Well, are you asking for our feedback on this or version 2? I'm in favor of version 1, draft the preamble, not 2A. I just think it reads easier. As far as through this document, the people reaffirm. I'm not sure if that's grammatically
Okay,
correct.
this is the only one that,
Sure.
this is one I was working on,
Oh,
and I
I
think,
added the bottom. I added at the bottom
Oh.
tonight to the thing.
so is there?
It doesn't really change much. It's pretty much the same. I just
Okay.
spaced it differently, but it's not, I didn't really finish it.
okay.
Disregard it.
Sorry.
No problem.
I had 2 on mine. So through
Yeah,
this
it's nice that we can
document-
have two. I find it easier in my own mind to have only one thing because I'll forget that, but then, if I had two, I would definitely forget everything.
Is it through this document or with this document?
Your pleasure. We had talked about using by this document, but we can say with this document if you like. I mean, we're taking proposed changes or amendments or deletions or whatever.
I'm looking, Chuck did have that suggestion from the last meeting about the language we expect and intend that our government will be welcoming and inclusive and will promote equality and respect for all. I think that was highlighted from last meeting as a good sentiment to include. And I don't know if that made it into this draft.
Well, I think what it says.
It is in the-
How about if
yeah.
I read it so you can?
Yeah,
and not
it is in there.
Oh, I do see it.
It's worded a little different. It will
Okay.
also be welcoming, transparent,
ethical.
I see.
So here's what we're going to talk about. Anybody have any additional changes or recommendations or suggestions? Gary?
Could we just read the document as is currently drafted?
I'll do that now. We, the people of the town of Paxton, Massachusetts, affirm our historical and traditional liberties with respect to the conduct of local government. We hereby adopt a charter for our town, and in doing so, we respectfully ask the leaders of our town to honor and further enhance those liberties. Paragraph 2. Our municipal government shall use its delegated powers and town resources wisely. It shall also be welcoming, transparent, ethical, and promote equality for everyone. And then I have the paragraph 3 of the preamble, last paragraph. Through this document is going to be suggested by this document or with this document. Those are the proposed changes on board right now. But through this document or by this document or with this document, the people reaffirm our commitment to the efficient and responsive delivery of town services, shared community and political experiences, and the principle that everyone deserves an opportunity to fully participate in the cultural, economic, and political life of the town. So what's on board for asking? We have, I think, agreed on asking instead of requiring. And then we are talking about through this document in paragraph 3, either that becomes by this document or with this document or remains as initially presented through this document. Okay, so we basically have one question left before we ask if we can accept this document.
Well, I think we're missing a preposition too. I think in between and the principal, so the third line from the bottom, I think it means and to the principal.
And to the, okay.
This is a minor parallel structure thing.
I think you took this two out. That changes your decision. This one. Two shared.
And to the principal. Okay, so if we make that change, we'll add to the principal. Anybody disagree with that?
Can you just read what you have again with this document? I think you took out a two somewhere. I just wanted to make sure.
With this document, or by this document, the people reaffirm our commitment to the efficient and responsive delivery of town services. I took out the two because there's somebody asked to take out, but I'll put it back in if you want. To shared community and political experiences, and the principle that everyone deserves an opportunity to fully participate in the cultural, economic, and political life of the town. So do we want that two in there? And have I got any twos that shouldn't be there? Or have I got not got any twos that should be there besides and to the principal?
I think the word "to" should appear in both of those.
Yes.
Okay.
To shared community and to the principal. I think the word "to" fits in.
That's where we were going.
And I keep trying to rationalize either the word "through" or "with" or "by," and I'm not really sure which one is better.
I don't either.
So
Could we just eliminate that and say, we the
This
people
document?
reaffirm?
We certainly can.
Ooh, I like that.
And then, I mean, it's obviously the document, right? Like,
Okay, so anybody will strike out, the proposal is that we will strike out through this document or by this document, we'll get rid of those. We will say, we the people reaffirm. I feel a little bit like George Walker.
I like that because it's implied that it's a document, so we're good.
All right. That being said, does anybody want to reread, or is everybody happy with what we have got? Megan?
Those were pretty minor changes. I'm good with those changes.
yeah,
Chuck? Gary?
good.
I'm good.
And so it was just that one, the two.
Yeah, we add the
And
twos.
we're adding the two.
And we take we the people up there.
Yep. Just
And up
confirming.
here, we ask instead of require.
And to the principal. Great.
Our committee clerk is doing his best to record these changes, knowing that the pressure will be on, because these will be our acceptance. Look at this. We got time to even start getting to Article 1. Is everybody... okay?
Yeah.
Shall we now move on with the remaining period of time that we have, which was unexpected. I thought we might not get this far. I'm very happy that we are. Draft Article 2, Draft 2, Article 1. Now, I gave this a number. It doesn't necessarily have to be Article 1, although it would be a very weird-looking charter if we didn't have existence before we have everything else. This is entitled Article 1, Existence and Authority. That's the existence of the town and the authority of the town in general terms, the most very general terms. Has everybody had a copy of this and a chance to read it? Anybody who does not feel ready to dive in? Okay, I will read Section 1-1 and we'll talk about that. Then I will go on after that to Section 1-2 and so on and so forth. And ideally, we might get through Sections
So
1.
is there a way to, I apologize, is there a way to shorten that piece?
Shorten a piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you'll have to tell me when we as we go
Is
through.
there a way for us to see if we have any concerns about any of the paragraphs first before we go through every section? Or are you doing?
I'm thinking doing
the
this for the
public?
purposes of the clerk, actually, but he can say town section 1.1 accepted or accepted. That's why I was doing it that way. But if you would rather have it done,
I'm just asking.
there is any, yeah. If enough people want, I'll do anything.
What is it that you're trying to?
I'm just trying to see.
Like
Article
overall?
1, if there's any, where the objections are
Oh.
to start with, as opposed to going through each one of the paragraphs. Because they're relatively straightforward
Yeah.
in terms of what they're saying. This is not where I think we're going to have a lot of argument on or conversation. There may be some, but I want to see if we can just fine tune it and just go through it in general.
Okay. That being said, I'll proceed that way unless anybody would rather have it do it the initially proposed way.
Sounds good.
Okay, Section 1-1, Incorporation. Does anybody have any comments, questions, or concerns, or proposed revisions?
No.
No.
Section 1-2, short title.
Yeah.
Anybody have any?
I didn't know what short title was.
It means it's not the long title.
Okay. How about seriously?
So what's the long title? Isn't,
The long title would be Charter of the Town of Paxton, Massachusetts, or any other. There's many different long titles. Actually, it shall be known and may be cited means that Paxton Town Charter has the same legal sufficiency that any other permutation of Paxton Town Charter could have. All right? As you'll see later on in the place we talk about the charter or town charter or Paxton Town Charter, the official document that we're talking about that we're going to ask the
Yeah.
I think we're missing a word in that one.
Yeah, the
May be cited, right? There's no B.
it should be.
Yeah. I
To
think-
be or not to be is the
Yeah.
question.
I do want to point out that sometimes, just to see if everybody's listening, it's old college.
And this instrument just kind of throws me off. I'm like, what?
Well, the instrument
Why do you
is
have to write
actually, it's a
instrument?
legal word.
Oh, okay.
This instrument, meaning this document. If you'd rather say this document, but instrument has a little bit more oomph behind it, but it's all legal mumble.
Okay.
Which would you like? You want instrument, or do you want to have this document?
I like instrument. Doesn't mean one or the other doesn't really matter to me.
Gary, any comments on?
Are we going to add the word "be"
Yeah.
before the word cited?
Yes.
And should it read, should be cited as, or, the difference between may and should or shall, is that?
Well, personally, I'd rather put shall in there, but the reason I do
would.
that is because we want people to use the same thing, so we don't have people talking about the charter, the Paxton Town Charter. We want, if they cite it, means when you put it in a legal document, meaning if anybody wants to refer to it for some purpose, they should do it so that we don't have any question what document they're talking about. So my suggestion would be to change may to shall be cited. This document shall be known and shall be cited as the Paxton Town Charter.
You can also just take out the words shall and be or may and be and just say shall be known and cited as the Paxton Town Charter.
Anybody like that?
I like
Yep.
it.
Yes.
All right, can I have
I
that?
propose you make it even shorter and just call it the Paxton Charter. in the document, or the short title. If we're going for a short title, let's make it shorter, right? Like Paxton Charter,
As opposed to the Paxton Pizza.
as opposed to the Paxton Town Charter.
Okay. So would somebody
you want the
please
word
read
town
what they would like that to be so that I and our clerk here on my left will be able to make this change? This instrument shall be known and
I feel like you need
And
town.
cited as the Paxton Town Charter.
Yeah.
I think
feel
the
like-
word town has got to be in there.
I think it does, because it's a descriptor. It could be Paxton, like Charles Paxton. I don't know, but it could be anything.
Yeah.
It may not be the town.
don't want anybody thinking that Paxton, Pennsylvania is what we're talking about. They might object
Well, in that
to us
case, we need
and take charter.
Massachusetts.
Okay, so shall it read?
No.
Without any further discussion, should it read as follows? This instrument shall be known and cited as the Paxton Town Charter. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any object?
No.
Okay. Section 1-2, the short title has been made shorter. Section 1-3, Town Powers, General Town Powers. By adoption of this charter, it is the intent of the Paxton voters to secure all powers possible for a municipal government to secure under the laws of the Commonwealth. The laws of the Commonwealth is something that is in our definitions, but basically means every single legal document the government has given us in the past, present, or future. So for purposes of this, does anybody see any need to adopt or change or revise anything in Section 1-3?
I have no suggested changes.
Me either.
It does the secure in twice to secure all powers
For Mississippi,
to secure under the laws. Is that redundant?
to secure, we want, in other words, it's saying it's the intent of the voters to secure all powers that are possible for a municipal government to secure. So all the powers that a municipal government to secure. We don't care what the powers the state can confer. We want it just to be that all powers that a municipal government is able to secure, either by historical, this charter, or by town bylaws that may come on and talking about this charter, or by any future laws that might come out.
So I think his question was just to remove the word "to secure" and the second part of it. By adoption of this charter, it is the intent of the Paxton voters to secure all powers possible for a municipal government under the laws of the Commonwealth. Does that flow or not flow?
Problem is, it doesn't foresee the future. Under the laws of the Commonwealth would mean under the laws of the Commonwealth as they exist as of the date this is enacted. What if the state enacts a law or whatever? We want the charter, the voters to have all powers possible that exist under the laws of the Commonwealth. Okay, so if we get rid of to secure under the laws, that's a present tense, as opposed to secure under the law. To secure is a, what is it?
I don't think we need it.
Per parfait, or I forget what the heck but anyway, I think and I recommend that this to secure be there, but, I'm one vote.
It is a little clunky to have secure and secure. I do like how you read it. It didn't.
Gary, could you read that one more?
Show.
By adoption of this charter, it is the intent of the Paxton voters to secure all powers possible for a municipal government under the laws of the Commonwealth.
Okay. Do we want to add anything in there at the end that as currently in existence or may be, or do we want to just leave it that way?
I mean, could you say now and into the future, or now and in the future?
Now and forevermore.
Now and forever.
I don't read it as being restricting.
I don't know.
Whatever the laws of the
Yeah.
Commonwealth are at the time that it's being interpreted.
Which is exactly the point I'm trying to make, and we ought to be under the laws of the Commonwealth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it, as interpreted, you could only interpret this document as it is.
Correct.
We're going to get into
No.
a disagreement that we don't need to get in.
I'm just gonna, I won't say that, well, anyway,
I make a motion, we accept it, eliminating to secure and leaving no more changes.
okay, so to secure goes away?
Yes,
The second one.
the
Okay.
second one, yes.
All those in
As-
favor of
as
that?
Gary read it, as
Yep.
Gary read it.
Aye.
Anybody opposed besides myself? Okay, the vote being 4-1, it is accepted as amended. Sec- sec-
Last meeting, you said you weren't a wordsmither, that you were more focused on the content and not the actual, but you're doing great with the wordsmithing. You're doing great.
I point out that Gary is an attorney experienced in basically arbitrations, which is something that I could have used a lot, and his ability to make suggestions that smooth the waters is very much appreciated. Section 1-5.
4.
Division,
4.
1-4, construction of town powers. The powers of the town shall be construed liberally in its favor. The specific mention of any power is not intended to limit in any way the general powers of the town. Another legal gem. This particular thing has been, back in the early days of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, has been something that has been honed multiple times. And one of the ones that I read somewhere, Section 1.4, Construction of Town Powers, took over a page. We'll not do that, and this has been condensed by other cities and towns that have charters to something like this. So I recommend that it be accepted without any changes. Are there any discussions about that? Corrections, recommendations, revisions?
No objection.
I make a motion, we accept.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Section 1.4 is now accepted. Section 1-5, Division of Town Powers. As we all know, in government, we have the executive branch, we have the judicial branch, and we have the legislative branch. Under this, we don't have a judicial branch, but we don't really have one in the town. The only thing we have close to that is the Zoning Board of Appeals. But that's something that we have special powers that are going to be discussed later on, and when we talk about the Zoning Board of Appeals. So at this point, I recommend that we keep it as it is, which is as follows. The legislative powers of the town shall be vested in open town meetings presided by an elected town moderator. That means all laws come from the people. Any objections to that sentence?
No.
The next sentence, the executive powers of the town shall be vested in the executive branch, headed by an elected select board and administered by an appointed town administrator or town moderator.
Yeah, so I
Yeah, I do
have an
too.
objection there about the last 3 words.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not sure why the or town moderator is in there.
Okay, for one reason and another, people seem to think that town administrator and town moderator are interchangeable. As a practical legal matter, they are. There is no difference between a town moderator and a town administrator. However, functionally there is, and functionally means politically. Essentially, an appointed town administrator is perceived as having less powers of an appointed town moderator. It says moderator, excuse me, wait a minute, why it says moderator? You're talking about town moderator, and that's wrong. I should say except the town administrator or town manager.
Ah, there you go.
Gotcha.
Okay, that makes
Gary, is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Indeed.
Okay, well, that's right, because it would be awful to try to give executive powers to a
That's what we were.
legislative doc. Well, as you can tell, I was sleepy at this time of night, and
wait.
glad for catching that.
Mistakes.
Is there anything else that we need to change?
Yeah,
Yes.
so you mentioned open meeting law for the town, right? And do we need something in the executive branch that has something to do with open meeting law for executive branch, or when closed sessions? Like, do we need to put anything in there about when they can decide which is when to use which?
The issue.
Or is that in the
Okay, let me
definitions?
explain where the first paragraph, legislative powers of the town shall be vested in open town meetings presided by an elected town officer. There is no provision for executive session in a town meeting. Town meeting is open, and that's why it is open. Okay? So we don't have to put anything like that, the town meeting go into executive session. Okay? The executive powers of the town shall be vested in the executive branch headed by an elected select board and administered by an appointed town moderator. Okay? Headed by. Your question is this the place where we should put in little things about executive powers?
Yeah.
And I would suggest no for the following. It is, and we will address it later on, if
We
you
do?
wish, in an article, separate article, talking about executive sessions. Executive sessions are something that has caused a little bit of question from the citizenry. All right? They feel, at least some people feel, and I'm just putting this out there, I'm not
Yeah, that's why I
offering an
bring it
opinion
up.
either way, and I'm not asking anybody to give an opinion. But some people feel that the executive sessions and are not being followed properly. And I don't comment on that. I'm not executive session police. But the fact of the matter is, it would be best for us to address, not just in the little power of the existence and authority, but when we get down to nitty-gritty, because we will have a section about town meetings. And it will have more information about
Okay.
town meetings, like the quorum that's required, and that sort of thing.
Okay.
We will also, subject to your approval, we will present stuff about executive session.
Okay, so the fact that they're,
Executive sessions are something that every committee can do.
okay.
I know
So-
that it's 1842, at 1845, we have to get out of here, so.
I'd like to see if we can get past through this article.
Okay, well, let's just go.
Okay, I just didn't know if we needed any language about open meeting
Do we have a meeting with the select
At a
board?
different
Do we need
time.
to-
No,
at a
we'll talk
different
about
time.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't need to finish this
It's
now?
November.
No, I think we put that into a different.
Later.
part,
At our
yeah.
next-
Yeah, okay.
Meeting?
Okay, perfect. I'm
Okay,
good
so we
with
have
that.
division of town powers, and other than making a town manager, other than the town moderator, he would not like to be investing executive powers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no objection.
Section 1-6 Charter Precedents reads, "The provisions of this charter shall take precedence over any existing bylaws, votes, rules, or regulations that contravene or otherwise conflict with the charter. This provision shall not apply to any subsequent bylaws, votes, rules, or regulations that specify an intent to amend this charter." That means that we can't be, we're going to make laws that we think of that apply right now, and if you want to change them, fine, but you got to say, we specifically mean to change the precedents or whatever. Anybody want to change anything in there?
No.
Wait, I'm sorry, I want to go back to 1.5 for a sec. So we're leaving the language in for town administrator or town manager?
Yes.
So we're proposing
That's
we're leaving it
because-
open for either? Because right now it's a town administrator, right?
Right, but there's nothing to say that another select board might hire a town and give them the title town manager.
So we'll leave it with the possibility, and
Yeah.
it covers it both.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right? We're not suggesting that they hire somebody and call them a town manager or a town administrator. That's totally up to them.
Yeah.
There is no legal difference. There is a significant difference in the community about what it means, this community, and for that matter, in the state.
Got it, sorry.
Okay, so we're accepting sound 1-5.
Yes.
With that amendment, okay. Section 1-6, any reason to not accept it?
No.
Discuss it? That's, section 1-6 is unanimously approved. Last section of this, and then we'll get out of your chairs, is section 1-7, continuation of existing law. All general laws, special laws, town bylaws, votes, rules, regulations, and policies pertaining to the town in force when this charter takes effect shall continue to enforce unless specifically or by implication amended, repealed, or rescinded by due course of law or expiration by their own limitations. Okay, that's a lot of mouthful, but basically what it says is, unless we specifically say or don't fail to refer to an existing town bylaw, they will continue in force unless they are amended, repealed, or rescinded by due course of law, which would be a town meeting vote, or by expiration. For instance, I don't think we are renting the upstairs in the town hall anymore, but that is a bylaw. So what we're saying is everything stays unless and until somebody changes it, or unless the charter specifies something different. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Anybody have any objection, remarks, comments, or shall we adopt section 1-7?
I have no objections.
Not either. I just want to confirm one thing. You added the word "to" after "continue" on the second line. Should that be in there or not? You read the word "to," but it's not actually in there.
Whereabouts?
After the word shall,
Yeah, shall continue.
yeah, it shouldn't be the word
It
to.
should not be. Okay, you read it that way. I just want to
I
make
did.
sure.
I read it wrong, but it's not there.
It's okay.
As written.
As written, we're good.
That's right.
I hereby declare, subject to a vote, that we have adopted Article 1, Existence and Authority, as discussed, and as will appear attached to our minutes to this meeting. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. That being said, may we now move on? We don't have time for a public session or comments. We have quick last words, and then we need to determine and announce our next scheduled meeting. So let's go to the determination and announce our next scheduled meeting. I'm going to suggest that we may want to consider, either today or future, having a meeting every Monday, because we really do need to have the kind of conversations that we had today on these items that we have passed for review. And the bottom line is that we're going to be meeting some significantly meatier things, okay? And to do that in a reasonable period of time, we might want to, spend a little bit more time than once or twice a month. Does anybody have any particular comments about the idea of meeting every Monday, subject to not conflicting with when they have available
That would be
location?
tough for me. I would have to, that would be tough to balance.
Feels aggressive, but I understand why.
Do you want, well, we can try it out, and, obviously, does anybody object to the idea of me trying to arrange another meeting for next Monday? We better hurry up, guys.
On the
I mean, November, December are crazy. So I feel like we'll be hard pressed to find that.
Okay.
But
Next,
the next meeting is November 3rd, right?
well, we have to talk about that. When
Oh,
is our
that's
next
the-
meeting?
Oh, that's in a week, right?
Yeah, that's in a week.
Yeah, that's in a week.
So we want November 3rd, okay? November 3rd, here.
I could do that.
Okay. And I believe we're on the Board of Selectmen's agenda. Okay.
Stick to the schedule.
Anything else? I have, next meeting, we will talk about the other things, which is the definitions to be. I thank you very much, everybody. We have accomplished some significant stuff. We've
Motion
learned
to
a
adjourn?
lot about ourselves. We'll need a motion
I
to adjourn.
second
Oh,
that.
yeah, motion adjourned.
Anybody object? Shut off your mics.
Aye.
Go fix the lamp in your room.
You don't have to be perfect to be